Oh, welcome in. Welcome in. This is the live chat. It's Wednesday. It's early on Wednesday, starting 15 minutes prior to the 3 o'clock hour because I have a production meeting I have to go to. So I'm building a little bit of a buffer zone in the front end so that we can have as much time as possible to get through all your questions, your concerns, and your comments for this week's Memorial Tournament. I've got data. I've got news. I've got this, that, and the other thing. I've been just fed with all the shot link and information. So let's do it. Let's go. Get your questions, your comments, your concerns in the chat right now. I'll go through as many as possible, but we'll start. I'll buy you a little bit of time, and we'll start where we always start. Here is the weather forecast for Dublin, not Ireland, Dublin, Ohio this week. And you'll see Thursday, pretty straightforward. Highs of 85, mostly sunny, not too much wind in the forecast, no rain in the forecast. Okay. Friday, mid 80s, starting to get a little bit more wind, particularly in the afternoon. You know, the morning tee times, 6 to 10 a.m., pretty much nothing. Then the afternoon gets up to about 13, 14, 15 miles an hour of wind. Okay. Saturday, this looks a little interesting. Chances of thunderstorms where you've got basically rain and wind in the forecast all day long. Saturday looks like a little bit of a crapshoot. Sunday looks a lot better. There is not a true wave this week. There's only 72 players in the field. Everybody goes off the first tee. There's not like the morning wave and the afternoon wave. But if you did want to look at golfers that played Saturday morning, might be, if you can find them, might be a little bit of a benefit. I'm probably only breaking ties with it. I'm probably not doing anything crazy. I'm not seeking them out for like must plays or avoiding other guys. I just think it's maybe a little bit of a lean. But that might change. I mean, if it moves up an hour, a couple hours, if it moves back a couple hours, that's why I'm not making a big deal out of it, just pointing it out if you do want to break ties with that information. The other thing is that our listener league, let me refresh this, only has a few hundred spots left. Yeah, I mean, 300 spots left with 17 hours to go. I think we're going to get there. $30,000 guaranteed, total strokes again. I'm feeling good about that decision that we made a couple of weeks ago. Happy about it. So $30K in guarantees. That's one of the highest we've had this year. The Memorial is obviously a big event. $25 entry. You pick one golfer from each of 6 tiers. Your best 5 scores count. I also noticed this today, ladies and gentlemen. They have not only already given us the RBC Canadian Open contest right here, $30K for next week, but they have given us $200,000 in a tiers contest for the U.S. Open. Well done, fellas over at Splash. Well done, you community members, getting us access to these guarantees, all completely guaranteed, which I do love to see. Finally, the guys at Pool Genius have been compiling the projected popularity for one and done this year, and it looks like it is going to be big boys at the top. Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy, Cam Young, Ludwig Oberg getting their 3 dots. We've been preparing for this. The only reason that I think Scotty would not be the most popular player by far is because he's been used a lot already. Not a lot, but like half the field has already used Scotty Scheffler. Rory McIlroy, to see him in the same ballpark as Scotty surprises me. That's not going to be the case. You know, Rory has been great, but he has been he's what, 0 for 12 in wins here, 0 for 13 in wins here. It's a good record, not a great record. Also, I don't know why they are giving him the, I mean, it says Northern Ireland when you hover over it, but that's the Great Britain flag. That's not true. Cam Young, Ludwig Oberg there as well. I think you're going to get a lot of Xander. I think you're going to get a lot of Matt Fitzpatrick. I think you're going to get a lot of Scotty Scheffler, and I'm sure we're going to answer about 200 questions of one and done along the way, and why not just start now. It's not a one and done question, but first question out of the gate. Hey, Rick, I was wondering who to pick in my DFS lineup this week. Would you like JT and Lowry or Meisner and Griffin? Can I swap? Could you get JT and Griffin as opposed to maybe you can't? The Meisner stuff, I'm a little hairy on. I think it'll be okay. The Lowry stuff, I think I'm okay on. Definitely higher on JT and Griffin. We're going to talk about a lot of these guys, so let's jump into this, and I'll get you right to Ben Griffin's stat profile here. I'll tell you what, Benny Booms is very much following the JJ Spawn. He's like 3 weeks behind JJ Spawn, which is like they both had breakout career years last year. They both started out slow. They both have started to get back into form. JJ Spawn has, and now Ben Griffin has. So Ben Griffin was playing well. So after he missed the cut to Valspar, he starts to put his game together a little bit, then goes on this run starting at the Zurich. He's got a couple of third place finishes since then, and the stat profile is back, right? The complete gain at the Charles Schwab where he drove it really well. He putted it really well. That's what he was doing last year. Last year, he had a complete gain and a runner-up finish at the Memorial. So it's Ben Griffin time. Like I'm here for this. I'm all here for this. I don't know if he's going to win. I actually did bet him to win. I don't know if he can win in a field like this, but I sure as hell think he's going to have a good week. I'm 82, wow, out of 1,500 in my splash one and done. My best available is Matt Fitzpatrick and Tommy Ladd. Is it time to get freaky and go with Griffin or Spawn or someone else? Well, let's think about this. You're very much in the top percentage of this, and it is a massive critical event. I would argue to say, is it the most critical event left? Not only is it a small field, but because there is a cut, it's the $4 million first prize. So is this the most critical one left, maybe outside the BMW Championship? I don't know if that's the time to get freaky, right? As much as I love Griffin, as much as I love JJ Spawn, why are we getting freaky? I would prefer to have gotten freaky if you were 882nd out of 1,500 and not 82nd, right? So that's kind of my thought process there. You're doing a great job, Mike. If you want to go with Ben and you want to go with JJ Spawn, that's fine. I love Ben. I still think it is probably just Matt Fitzpatrick is probably a better play than Ben Griffin in your position, but it's close enough that I wouldn't beat you up for either one of those two. 280th in the running done. I have no Scotty, Rory, Young, Ludwig, Fitz, Tommy, Cantlay. Oh boy. Okay. I think your play is kind of the play that I'm going with in some of my entries that I've burned through stars, and it's Hideki, I believe. So Hideki's starting to put everything together. He's coming off a complete gain himself at Colonial. He gained 5.5 strokes on approach, which is exactly what you want to see. The putter has been good this year, including his last 2. The driver, still a problem, but getting better. And then we know the history around this place is nothing short of spectacular. He's got great hands around the greens. This is where I'm going in lineups that I've burned a lot of guys is Hideki. Does using 8 or 10 stat categories dilute the ones that are most important when modeling? Yes. I mean, yeah, of course, right? I mean, especially if you're putting even weights on all of them, it would dilute some things. But like if you come in here and put, gosh, I don't know, if you put like 50 on tee to green and then you were doing maybe like 60 on tee to green, then you found like 6 other stats where you wanted to put 10 each, it wouldn't be that big of a deal, right? Because you have such a big chunk. But if you're evenly distributing 6 or 8, it would dilute, depending on what they are, a little bit. If you only had to pick 3 stats, which ones? Yeah, I mean, yours are not bad, right? You say 33% strokes gained tee to green, 33% bogey avoidance, 33% par 5 scoring. I think those are all very fair. Maybe I would swap out par 3 scoring for something like hard golf courses. I think that's a pretty good indicator for this week. It would probably be the way that I would go, but yours is fine. Won't the US Open purse be bigger than this week? I was saving Scotty for that. So the thing is, we won't know, right? The US Open, they don't release that until like the tournament starts, or like Wednesday, or maybe during tournament week, maybe when the tournament starts, if I remember correctly. What was first prize last year? US Open Golf Purse 2025. The winner was 4.3. So at the very least, I'm sure it won't be less than that. So it'll probably be somewhere between 4.3 and 4.5 million. So, okay, the purse will be bigger. The first prize will be bigger. It will also have a cut. It will also have a field that is twice as big as this one. So when we weigh that out, is that worth it to you? Is it worth it to try to tackle another 70 players with a cut on a golf course that we don't know. We know Scotty plays well at Muirfield Village. We know that he's actually historically great at Muirfield Village. We don't know how he's going to play at Shinnecock. And are you doing all of that for an extra 200,000, 300,000? Might not be worth it. Whit, you have to decide on that. But I think this is kind of your Scotty deploy spot. But if it's not here, it is the U.S. Open, I think, right? Because of the purse. But I think this is still a one and a two situation. My best options for one and done are Tommy Henley, JT Cantlay. How would you rank those guys? Probably. So I'm high on JT. So it's probably JT Cantlay, Henley, Tommy for me. Spieth hasn't had a top 10 since this event last year. Does he finally break through this week? Well, it's a good question. It's probably a question that I thought there were at least 3 other times where I was like, okay, it's time for Spieth to break out. This is the moment. And we're getting close. The approach play is still really strong from the PGA Championship and Byron Nelson. The putter is starting to get a little bit better. He's been driving it great. His history here, fantastic. So yeah, but the answer to your question, Kyle, is this where he finally breaks through? Yes. But I've said that about 6 times in the last year. Currently 300th in your one and done, stuck between Ludwig and Matt Fitzpatrick. Can you see either player that's a better course fit for an upcoming or signature? Oh, okay. So let's do it like this then. I want to look up Fitzpatrick's potential courses moving forward. I think Ludwig is actually just more ubiquitous, if I'm using that word correctly, where it's like you could just play Ludwig anywhere and probably be okay with it. Let me see. Would you play? How about this? You could play Fitzy at the Renaissance Club, or if you want to properly pronounce it, the Renaissance Club is how they will pronounce it when you get over there to Scotland. That would probably be a good use for him. Not only does he have, he has 2 top 6 finishes since that event. I guess I have to get this out of the way. He has 2 top 6 finishes at this event since it went to a PGA and a DP co-sanctioned event, and he has a runner-up and a 14th place finish when it was only a DP World Tour event. So I think what you could probably do here is, if you want to run Ludwig here, you could save Fitzy for, honestly, you could save him for the Open, or you could save him for the Scottish, which would be pretty interesting. I have actually already deep dived both of these guys. So I've already gotten there. It's Griffin and Hideki. I was a step ahead. I'm third in my one and done. I'm $1.2 million behind the leader. Do I roll Scotty or save for the BMW? I have available to me a lot of guys. I'm rolling Scotty here. That's just me. I get that round 4 captain mode showdowns on DraftKings take the current leaderboard into account for pricing, but last week Eric Cole was $6K more expensive than JT. Any explanation for that? Yeah, that's a little much. I'm second in my one and done. Most of the top guys have been used. I'm down to Griffin, JT, or Spawn. Any of these 3 are better. I'm playing Griffin right now out of those 3. JT and Spawn, you can find other spots for. Wanting to use either Straka, Spieth, or Fowler to pair with Scotty in my pick too. Interesting. I can reuse a winner. Also interesting. So would you save any of these 3 for a later tournament where they'd have a legit chance at winning? Also interesting. Fowler is probably going to be the one who plays Rocket and or 3M and would have a chance to win that. Straka is probably not going to be a favorite like Fowler is going to be at any event, and Spieth is probably not either. They would win from deeper down the betting board. Fowler is the one that's most likely to play an event that is weaker, where he would be like on the top 5 of the betting board. I'm thinking of the Rocket Classic is what I'm thinking of. So if you save Fowler, you run either Straka or Spieth here. And there's questions coming up about Straka, so I'm just going to get them out of the way right now because I need to deep dive Sepp, and that will also give us an answer to those questions and these questions here. So what you need to know about Sepp is that he went over and played the Austrian Open last week, and this is a perfect pitch for rickrungood.com, right? So I have a deal with all the tours. So I have the strokes gain data from the Austrian Open last week. So he gained 7.5 strokes on approach, 8.1 from tee to green. He is going to have to travel back from Austria. You can decide whether that matters or not. Missed the cut at the PGA Championship, but he has been just flushing it. I mean, he's only lost strokes on approach once since the Hero, and that was at the Texas Open. So really good signs there. History at Memorial is very strong. Okay. Maybe you do run out Straka and Scotty here and save Spieth and Fowler. Spieth might just win from anywhere. Who knows? And then Fowler is going to play the weaker schedule. So I think that's the play for you. Middle of the pack and one and done. Can Cantlay win anymore? It's been like 4 years. It's been over 4 years, I think, since Cantlay's won. I think if you're going to use Cantlay, you're probably going to use Cantlay at some point this year. It's now. Obviously the course history is the only guy tee to green cumulative better than Scotty Scheffler in his career, although he's played like 9 times and Scotty Scheffler's played here 6 times. And he's playing well coming in. Ryan, it sucks. I think you just have to play him. Do Bridgman and Thurgala have a realistic chance this week? I think Bridgman does. There's still enough for where I'm still excited about Bridgman. It has not nearly been. I mean, his West Coast swing was fantastic. It hasn't been as good since he got to Florida and some other places. I think we're probably going to get him gaining strokes with the putter again this week, something that will raise his floor. If he can play out of the fairway, which he hits a very straight ball, he's accurate enough. He doesn't have a lot of big misses. I think there's a pathway for Bridgman. Thigala is a little bit more difficult, I think. I'll pull it up. I think did I click that before it went away? I think I did. I don't know if this is a really good spot for him. It's a little bit of a mixed bag, right? He's got the 2 top 12 finishes, but he's got a 58th and a missed cut as well in the last 4. Approach play has been a little bit weaker than I would like. So I think it's probably a little bit more Bridgman than it is Thigala. I'm in the middle of a 50-person one and done, $5 million behind. Do I target first place or target payouts? Do I target first place? You target first. Like it takes care of itself, right? If you're, there's no reason to say, hey, I'm just going to try to ladder up here to get into the money. That's silly. Don't do that. Just pick winners. Could you take Goddard up here? I've spoken a lot about Goddard up this year, about how high his floor is. Saw it again at the PGA Championship. Saw it again at the Truist. The man who has a driver for a weapon, lost a half a stroke off the tee at the Truist, and he still finished T14. That's an insane floor. We've talked about how his stat profile really is unlike any other stat profile in the world because of how safe it is. I would say do it. Run out Goddard up, see what happens. You can save Ludwig, you can save Cam, you can save Fitz. You're going to have plenty of places to use them. This isn't bad. Pick 2 in this tiers contest. So the 2 that I would pick were probably Alex Fitzpatrick and Hisatsune. Hisatsune is going to have to play out of the fairway, though. Bonus question. To go with Scotty. Yeah, we talked about this. It's very close between Matt Fitzpatrick and Ben Griffin. Every time it comes across the timeline, I think differently about it. But I mean, Griffin's probably going to be less popular in that scenario, right? In a pick 2 tier, I imagine almost everybody's going to have Scotty out of tier 1. Scotty and someone else. Is it just going to be Scotty and Fitzy, or can you just go Scotty and Ben Griffin? Just do Scotty and Ben Griffin. Might be a little bit better. Win equity rankings by your data and gut. Wyndham, Rye, Henley, Siwoo, Woodland. Oh boy. Rye, Siwoo, Henley, Woodland, Wyndham, which I know is crazy because Wyndham just won. Any notable weather conditions? Well, let's just do this. If you think there's wind and weather, go to the Holy Grail. go to wind over 15 miles an hour for like the last 4 years. So this is shot link. It comes in from the shot link towers. And then you could just do strokes gained total because obviously it's encompassing everything. And then the guys that jump out as better wind players would probably be like Henley, Sungjae, Hideki, Finau, and Keegan. Right, those are guys that are. I mean, Scotty and Rory are 1 and 2, but they're also the first and second best players in the world. So just trying to find guys that go in the other direction. 25%. Okay, so we're gonna run Chris's model here. So Chris's model is. Oh gosh, I was already messing around with this. All right. Chris's model is 25% on total driving, 25% on approach, 25 around the green, 25 course history, which is Muirfield Village. Chris's model, and he says without Scotty. So without Scotty, Ludwig is number 1, Matt Fitzpatrick is 2, Rory, Adam Scott, Cam Young, Patrick Cantlay, Siwoo Kim, Russell Henley, Xander Schauffele, and then Corey Connors. 5th out of 200 in a strokes one and done. I have to reset my brain on how this works. Everyone in front of me has used Scotty. I have not. Debating not using him and saving him. Yes, right? Because shouldn't you then be using Scotty at like BMW, like somewhere where they're going to go super low, right? It's a strokes one and done. So you need to use Scotty where he's going to get to like 30 under par, which I don't think is here. So you should be using, I think Fitz is probably pretty good for that. Can you run a model of only specific stats you like in around the green and approach categories? Okay. So does bogey avoidance count as any of that? All right, I'll follow along here. So let's do 25 on scrambling. Let's do some of the longer approach buckets, like 175 to 200, 200, 225, 200 to 225 to 250. And then let's do greens gained. And then I'm going to cheat a little bit, I think, here, because I'm going to put my last on bogey avoidance. I feel like that's a short game stat. I don't care what anybody says. Scotty 1, Kurt Kitayama 2, Ludwig Smalley Siwoo, Xander Fitz Meisner, Woodland Henley. Only need to make the cut for one and done. Oh, okay. Well, Jesus. There might not even be a cut this week, right? So this is one of the weird ones. It's top 50 and ties or anybody within 10 shots. So in theory, if everybody is within 9 shots of the leader on Friday night, no one gets cut. So there might be a small cut, there might be no cut, there might be a 20-person cut. If you're only looking to make the cut, man, this is where I get too risky in these. Like I would just play Harris English. Like when is the last time Harris English missed the cut? Am I gonna expose myself here? It's gonna be like last week. When's the last time he's missed? You know what I'll also do is so he missed the cut the players. And then prior to that, he missed the cut at 2025 Bay Hill. He's missing like 1 cut a year. And this is an event that has like almost no cut. I think I take on too much risk in these, but just I would play Harris English and say if I get knocked out, I get knocked out. Who are your favorite picks for someone in the middle of a one and done pack that doesn't have Scotty available? I think it's Hideki is my favorite. I think Cantlay is probably my second favorite. You probably do not need to go any deeper than that. If you're in the middle, you probably have not used those guys. What are the most significant proximity approach buckets and which golfers are best in that respective bucket. So for this week, higher than tour average, you get 150 to 175 barely, 200 to 225 pretty significantly more than tour average, and then 250 to 200 plus. So like guys that would be good in those categories. So hold on, 150 to 175, 200. So 150, 200, and 250. So stats, approach play. We're going to go approaches from, what did I say? 150 to 175. In this field, qualified only. Siwoo, Adam Scott, Brian Campbell, Andrew Novak, Ryan Gerard. 200 to 225. That's Siwoo again. Hideki, Snedeker, Ludwig, and Lowry. And then 250 to 275. It's going to be a lot of small sample sizes, but that's Cam Young, Tom Hoagie, Nico Echeverria, Ludwig, Xander. So who crossed multiple of those? Ludwig, Siwoo, maybe some others, but they're off the top of my head. At Memorial, Wade ball striking versus survival. Set pops in, of course, fit. Yes, but lacks in like bogey avoidance. Both, Greg. So this is a great question, by the way. So are bogey and scrambling actually skills, or are they just downstream from approach and off the tee? So Greg's saying like, hey, like if you drive it well and hit your approach as well, do you even really need to scramble all that well because you're never doing it, right? Or that's the extreme version of what Greg is saying, but that being downstream of things that lead to scrambling and bogeys. Scrambling is definitely a stat, right? Like the ability to literally get up and down at a place like this is definitely a skill. I realized that bogey could be an upstream or a downstream stat, right? Like if you drive one to OB, you're much more likely to make a bogey, and that was, it's not your chipping and your pitching's fault. So of that question, I would say scrambling is definitely its own skill. Pick 2 out of 3 for an outright bet. Fitz, Siwoo, or Tommy. Probably Fitz and Siwoo. Yeah, I like Tommy, but not that much. Is there an edge in avoiding mistakes or surviving when the course punishes good shots? Who in this field has the best unfair bogey resist? Okay, Greg, you're about to be on the payroll if you keep asking good questions like this. Hold on a second. Deep dive this philosophical thought. Is the edge here avoiding mistakes or surviving when the course punishes good shots? Unfair bogey resistance. I don't know what you're asking, Greg, but I think I like it. I think my brain can't wrap around it, but I'm not positive what you're getting at here, but I would like to be positive about it. I don't know. Email me what you're talking about. That's I think I love where you're headed, but I don't know. Could you rank Spieth, Sepp, and Woodland for this week, please? Leaning Sepp because of great. Depends on what you're trying to do. I would say, yeah, the way you have it, Sepp, Spieth, Woodland, I think is fine. Greg is struggling on the second cut with his one and done picks. You're about $8 million behind in one and done, and you're thinking JT this week. Sure, he's not going to be popular at all. And I'm probably more bullish on JT than most. Here's the deep dive on Xander. The pessimist says that Xander has been, one of the most annoying, kind of frustrating players to back this year. I can tell you that from experience. The optimist says, okay, he's really struggled with the putter relative to himself in the last year or so, but he just gained 7.5 strokes at Aronimink, and he gained in all 4 days. And we are on the verge of him marrying the tee to green play with the putter, and his results here are all pretty good. I take the optimist view of this because I just don't think we're going to live in a world in which Xander doesn't win in 2026 at some point. So yeah, but I've been wrong about Xander consistently. My betting card for this week, and I will remind you, this does not matter. You should not bet what I bet. We have a lot of different, I'm in Florida. I screw around on Hard Rock and whatever. So don't bet what I bet, but I'll just tell you what my current card looks like. Scotty to win. Okay. It's my biggest stake is Scotty to win. I then have an infamous top 20 parlay of Christopher Rate and Kurt Kitayama, Adam Scott. I also have a top 20 parlay of Alex Smalley, Hideki Matsuyama, and Billy Horschel. I also have Ben Griffin to win and Hideki Matsuyama to win. So Scotty, Ben Griffin, and Hideki. I then have laddered Hideki's finishing positions. I have a solo on Billy Horschel top 20, which was like 6.5 to 1. Seems a little much to me. And then I also have I have this one from, when did I make this one? This is my favorite one right now. I made this bet. When did I make this bet? Does it not tell me? Months ago. A couple of other previous times I was down here. The Golden Knights to win the Stanley Cup and the Spurs to win the finals. At the time, the Golden Knights were 10 to 1. They are now minus 180. And the Spurs to win the NBA championship. At the time, they were 5 to 1. They're now, what, minus 180, 150? That's 65 to 1. That'll be nice. And the Golden Knights came through last night. Those little dirty dogs. I love those boys. I love them boys. All right. Where was I? Can you do deep dive on Pearson Coody? Looks like he can put 3 rounds together, but not 4. Okay, let's look. He's got to have played here before, hasn't he? Statistically great driver of the ball. Oof. No. So I agree with the sentiment that he has, yes, put together 3 out of 4 good rounds each of the last 2 starts. But I do not like how he did it. I mean, the approach play, abysmal. Around the green, worse than that. I think he could get crushed this week. Harmon or DB last man in? Actually, I know what Harmon has been up to. Let's look at Berger, the guy that I've gotten wrong more than any other player in the last 2 years, Daniel Berger. Let's see. Ugh. Harmon, I hate it both. I hate them both. Who would your core be for this week? If you go Sky, it leaves you 7,300. All right. Core for this week. If you wanted to be really freaky, Horschel would be in my core. You can sense that from my my bets there. I would then probably go with, I mean, do you just have to go with Smalley again? Just routinely mispriced for one of the better, like seriously, one of the better players in this field. Do we just keep riding this? So if we go Horschel, Smalley, Griffin, Scotty, what does that leave you? I'd be interested to know about that. If not, you could drop out Scotty and go with those 3 and see how it goes. But that's interesting. This says you and Data Golf have the best golf tools in the business, but you often differ on course fit. Nap was number 1 for you and 65 for them. Any thoughts about why? I have no idea. First off, thank you for the nice note. I have no idea. I couldn't possibly have any idea the way that they do it. I've been very clear about how I do it, which is, look at the last 6 years worth of shot link data and also look at all of the, I build out models as for the whole season to find the types of players. And then, it's all right here, the very transparent, additions and subtractions to the course fit. So I have no idea how anybody else does it, but that's how I do it. I'm done in your one and done, so I'm trying to win a segment now. Was going to use Sky at the Memorial, but had Fowler last week. Siwoo got me second. Siwoo got me second in first set. Should I save Scotty now? Yeah. Because even if you use Scotty now, he's going to be really popular. So even if you get a win from Scotty, because you had Fowler last week, you're probably behind the 8 ball anyway on the segment. So yeah, you probably have to save him. What's your strategy on picking your betting card? Fun. Seriously. I mean, listen, I'm not paying my bills based on golf betting, and I don't think anybody there's 20 people in the world who are doing that successfully. So one, nice little side income, but fun. Give me a sweat. I like the process of it, right? Like doing the whole identification thing that we do every day. And then the bets are like scorekeeping, like how right were you? How wrong were you? Right. So my strategy is this: generally pick 2 or 3 guys that I think have a legitimate chance of winning and I like their odds. Easy enough to say. Then I kind of back a lot of that up with some laddering. So like Hideki this week, I think is undervalued and I think he's got a high upside. I think he's very risky as well. But because I think he's risky, I want all of it. I want win, top 5, top 10. I want all of it, right? So if Hideki wins, I get it all. If he doesn't, I don't. I've always basically taken on a high risk, high reward strategy. Then when I'm in Florida, Hard Rock lets you do these silly top 10 parlays that I know are absolute sucker bets, and they're a lot of fun, and they give you something to follow all week long. And then as the tournament goes on, I probably have a lot more in around 2 balls and 3 balls than anything else. But like not until the tournament starts and I can see the data and all that stuff. I'm 7th out of 50 in the one and done. I'm in the money, but I'm 2.5 off the lead. I'm holding Rory for Memorial. You're holding Rory for Memorial. Interesting. Wait, that is this week. Maybe you mean something else, because then it says Goddard, Fitzy, or can't lay this week. So that's confusing, but I think you mean you're saving Rory for something else. I would probably just play can't lay, or can't lay, and then earmark Fitzy for the Scottish probably. I need you to tell me why Spieth can't win. Why can't he win? I mean, it's been literally years since he's won a golf tournament. I think he can. I'm definitely more bullish on him. I love the stat profile. I like the way that it's going. Like, he has not won in, God, how long has it been? Let's find out. 3 years? No. Has it been 3 years? Can't have been 3 years. It's been longer than that. Oh my God. It's been, stop it. It's been 4 years and 2 months. The 2022 Heritage was his last win. Yikes. Why isn't Hovland playing this week? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong here. I rarely do this Scheffler like top American thing. If he's going to be the top American, he's probably going to win, because it is there's more Americans in the field than any other nationality. If he beats all of them, he's probably beating everybody. So I don't think I've ever bet Scotty Scheffler to be the top American, and I think I've bet him to win a lot. Did do that. Any update on the scratch video you mentioned? No. I've submitted it. I'm waiting for them to post it. I already have another one in the queue. But that's out of my hands. That's out of me. Okay. There's a lot of Sepp Straka, and there's a lot of Hideki, and there's a lot of Ben Griffin. I've covered that already. Let's do Corey Connors. Why would we be in on Corey? Why is Corey Connors due for a solid week? Let's see. This is Mr. Pibb 0, by the way. I have access to Mr. Pibb here. He's not a doctor, he's a mister. But he's pretty good. All right. Corey's record here is vintage Corey. T13 to T25 for the most part. Just pretty decent floor, no ceiling whatsoever. What's he been doing recently? Kind of vintage Corey Connors, but slightly worse. Best finish T13, worst finish T70. No missed cuts, but nothing really all that interesting. He's got an X. This is almost as predominant of an X in the stat profile as you can see. So, like, look at this. Do it, like, cross your eyes and look at this. Every week, there is something different that is wrong. It's like a perfect X. And it's usually the X of death, because it gives you no path to fixing it. He's going to finish 33rd. I guarantee it. You know what? Well, I don't know if I want to say that out loud, but I'll say it. Maybe somebody knows somebody. I reached out to the LPGA to get work a deal with them, just like I have every other tour, to get LPGA data for rickrunggood.com like a year ago. I would, maybe longer than that. I would have loved to have done that. But it was right around the time they were like having a new CEO or a new commissioner, and like it was just kind of chaos at the top. And I never really heard back. I probably should have followed up. If anybody has any contacts at the LPGA, I would love to do this again, right? Like, I want to get LPGA data into the database, model it all, have it available, all that fun stuff. So if anybody knows, let me know. What is Mina's favorite milkshake flavor? I don't know. She'll probably tell me in the chat. If you're one and done, she says it's cookies and cream. Oh yeah, I knew that. That's what she always gets from Chick-fil-A. If your one and done includes the tour championship, is using Scotty there a no-brainer? Let me just think. How are they doing the money? Are they doing the bonus money? Or are they doing like, if they're doing the bonus money and Scotty is like, it's a 30-man field for $18 million or something outrageous, then yes, you should be saving Scotty. But if your one and done includes the tour championship and it uses the bonus money, it's probably a shit one and done, admittedly. So, but you're going to have to, play by the rules. But yes, in that case, you should definitely be. Can the Meisner heater continue? Yes. Fantastic tee to green play. Good results dating back to more than just the Charles Schwab. Played well on Sunday. Has never played here. Yes, it can continue. Deep dive on Rosie. Well, you're going to get very few golfers who have the history in terms of both experience and positive experience at Muirfield Village than Rosie. And he's probably playing some of the better golf of his life right now. Yeah, I could see this. He kind of always shows up in big ones too, right? Like runs away with Farmers, 13th at the Players, 3rd at the Masters, 10th at the PGA. Didn't really show up in some other places. Yeah, good spot for Rosie. What? Oh, I took Ludi at sorry. I thought it was like 2001. I was like, what the? Where'd you get Ludi at 2001? 20 to 1. Yeah, the deep dive on Siwoo Kim is pretty simple. He's going to hit the fairway a ton. He's been the best player in the world. Him and Ludwig are the best players in the world without a win this year. That's not hyperbole, because if you actually go to everybody, I mean, you just go to everybody in this field and look at their 2026. What am I in? Strong weather, strong winds conditions. Look at their 2026. Sort by top 5 finishes or sort by strokes gained total. So sort by strokes gained total. Here they are: 1.5, 1.49. Ludwig and Siwoo Kim, the first 2 guys without wins. Best players in the world without a win. He's been inside the top 5 6 times. It's the most besides Scotty Scheffler. He's going to be accurate off the tee. He's got a good history around here, I believe. Bunch of top 20s. Yeah, it's all. Yes, Siwoo is fantastic. Yeah, we're just running with Smalley. I'm 8th out of 5,000 in a $1 million one and done. Okay, you should not be typing your question. You should just be doing whatever you think is best because you're crushing it. I have Xander or Cantlay. I'm leaning Cantlay. Dude, just do whatever you think is best. You're beating everybody. Why? Don't ask me. I'm leading the one and done segment 3 with Henley win. Should I go Scotty here? Yes. Kitayama modeled very well for me. All tempo top 5. Fred Couples. Adam Scott. My buddy Garrett. Xander. Sick tempo. And I feel like it doesn't get enough. Oh, Jake Knapp. Yeah. 100%. Okay. I don't know if I talked. I'm sure I talked about this on Monday. So Muirfield Village, and I don't know if I have the stats digitally or not, but if you didn't see it, we did a Betcast preview show yesterday. It's still on ESPN Plus. You can go watch it right now on demand. And I had sent over some stats, and they made graphics out of them. So I have the stat here somewhere. So this is my stat. The winners at Muirfield Village, strokes gained tee to green last 10 years, 3.24 is the highest share of strokes gained by winners at any course. So this is not golfers that are getting hot with the putter or whatever. It is like they're tee to greening it to death. Okay, so that's part one. There is also a sizable, and these are obviously connected, a sizable miss, a big penalty for missing the fairway off the tee. So that's obviously included in tee to green play as well. So this is a tee to green test. You're not going to convince me otherwise. That is the case. Scotty Scheffler is the best tee to green course combo player in ShotLink history here. He's getting over 3 strokes from tee to green. Out of the ones that you named, Cantlay and Ludwig probably fit it best. Just subscribe to your site. Is there a way to see live strokes gained during a tournament? Yes. You want the showdown cheat sheet is what you want. So this will start populating as the tournament begins. It'll flip over to the memorial and it'll start populating. You'll see it's here, right? And then you can look at like the quadrants and you can look at other stats that you might want to look at. But this loads like during the tournament. You can filter by groups, you can filter by nationalities, all that stuff. Okay. So yes, it's the showdown cheat sheet is what you want. It'll start filling in on Thursday morning. I'm just reading to see if I have a different. What do you think about this 2v2? Siwoo and McNeely. Ooh, I like the Siwoo side, but not with McNeely. I think it's Ludwig and Rose. Decky or Cantlay and one and done. Very tight. I think they're both pretty risky, but I will say, God, I'm going with Hideki, but I wouldn't beat you up if it was Cantlay. Do you subscribe to the narrative of a drop in performance after a win? Example, Henley or contention in a major? Generally not really for guys that have done it before. Like Henley's one of them. Like Henley's a professional. There will be no difference there. Yeah. So I read off the just to recap here. And while I pull this up, I'll remind you. So I'm going to pull up my placement parlays. I'll remind you that we are going to do the second cut today, this afternoon at 4:45 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to start with the fantasy portion. Greg is going to be in there. He's got to get out early. Then we're going to flip to storylines and topics. We'll do one and done. We're going to try to thread the needle on timing of this, but we're going to start at 4:45 today. So these are my fun little parlays in which you listen, if you like burning money, join me. Top 20, Rayton, Kitayama, Adam Scott, 25-1. This one's 43-1. Top 20, Smalley, Hideki, Billy Horschel. I also have, hold on, Victor Wembanyama under 28.5 points tonight. Shohei to hit a homer. Then that's 5.5-1. This one is 150-1. This is a homer from Ben Rice, Gunnar Henderson, and Bryce Harper. Just light my money right on fire. Paul Casey. Can you ask Coach to describe how excited he is that Paul Casey could be back next year? Because he's Paul Casey. Coach is not here this week. I'll have to text him. I like Nick Taylor. I actually think Nick Taylor, and I got to go bet it, is going to be the top Canadian. I need to be selective here because I need to go soon. Oh, we're 50 minutes in. Okay. Hold on. I've got a little bit more time. Let me make sure I can get into this. Did you hear Jordan use your whack-a-mole analogy? No, I didn't. Somebody send me the clip. Okay. I'm at the bottom. So, okay, now let me circle back. Need to make up a few million in one and done. Who's your biggest long shot that you trust? All right, I can do that. So I'm going to go down further than Hideki. I'm going to go down the deepest one that I think can win. I would have put Minwoo in this conversation. I would have put Hideki in this conversation. But the absolute deepest one that I think could win. I mean, what if it's Rayton? He's already won a signature event, and his best skill is the one that might be great here. What if it is Rayton? Let's assume it's not. Then I think the answer is Woodland. I think is the answer. Can absolutely win. Can absolutely win. Just joined Rick Run Good. Can I download the Grail? Nah. That's a quote from DJ James Kennedy. I have deals with the tour. There are some things I'm not allowed to make available for download. I can email you that more information if you want, but 2 and done. Cantlay or Fitz. I still have 2 available for both. Oh, so see, this is weird. This is a 2 and done where you can use them 2 times. See, I think a 2 and done is that you pick 2 and they're both done. But you're saying that you can use them twice. That's what we need, a new name for this. So it should really be a 2 and done and a 2 and not done. A 2 and 2 is what it should be called. Let me do the there's a late run on McNeely questions. Let's see what he's been up to. Boy. I find this to be a really tough profile. Yes, he gained 2 strokes on approach at the PGA Championship, but he was dismal before that. His history here is small but good. 2025 last year, T5, 2020, 5 years prior, missed cut. Can't use that either way. Let me check a couple more things. It's not very accurate off the tee. It's pretty bad with his long irons. No, I'm out. I'm going to lean out on McNeely. There was a little bit that gave me an idea, but I'm going to lean out on McNeely. Has Rye ever played with Scotty? Do you want the answer to that question? If you actually want the answer to that question, I can get it for you in actually, I know a way to get it. I know a way to get. Do not share my screen, Mina, because this is actually top secret information. I'm actually getting. Oh man, do I want to show this so bad?
Show it.
Can't show it.
Show it.
Can't show it. I cannot show it. I'm actually using Rick Run Good V2 here, which is so freaking sick, but I cannot show it to you because I'm not ready to show it yet. So I'll tell you 2 parts to this. The last 100 times that they've played in the same round together, Scotty has won 76 of those. Not together, but they've played in the same round 76 times to Aaron Rye's 17, and there have been 7 ties. If you want to know, like, actually have played in the same group, I can get you that as well. Just going to be a few more clicks. Definitely don't show this, Mina. I have to log in. Sorry. No, I know. She says it. She says that I should do it, but it's not like that. Okay. Career. Where did I have this? Well, now I'm deep. Now I'm deep. Is it this? I think it might be. Let me try this. Aaron Rye, Scotty Scheffler. It's going to be really annoying. Okay. They've played together one time. I was going to say it's going to be really annoying when I pull this up and they've never played together. They played together one time. 2023 Travelers. Rye shot a 68. Scotty shot a 63. So there you go. Scotty to win outright or Xander and Young to finish top 10. Top 5. Scotty. Scotty's going to win. All right. Wow. Okay, we did it. We accomplished the goal. We went for an hour, but we started a little bit early so that I could. I mean, best of all worlds. All right. Second cut is when we're going 4:45. I'm going to be coming in hot from this production meeting. We've got Betcast this week, Thursday through Sunday. It starts. I'll tell you exactly what time it starts tomorrow. 10 a.m. Eastern is when we go on live. PGA Tour live, ESPN Plus. Links for everything you need are in the description. RickRunGood.com, our listener league, whatever. Everything is in there. Thank you all very much. I will see you soon.